Okay, so we're going to do the demonstration of how to write up a one-way ANOVA and how to conduct a one-way ANOVA. So in the MIDUS data set, we'll go to Analyze, we'll go to Linear Model, General Linear Model, and we'll choose Univariate. For our dependent variable, we decided that we were going to look at the effects on extroversion, so I choose extroversion here, enter that as a dependent variable. And then for our fixed factor, that's where our independent variable goes, our grouping variable. So we're going to go ahead and put marital status there. Now because marital status has 5 different levels, we want to also follow up on this test with a post hoc test. And so we'll move that marital status variable over to the right side here to look at a post hoc test. We're going to do a 2-key post hoc test, which is going to allow us to compare the levels of the means of the different marital statuses. I also like to, in the options section here, I like to move the variables over and get descriptive statistics for these variables. I don't think we need to make any other changes here, so if we just click paste, our syntax will appear. And we can highlight that, click the play button, and we'll run our syntax. What we see in the output is that we have a large number of individuals in the sample. We have 2,853 married individuals, but only 55 separated individuals, and a couple hundred divorced, widowed, and never married individuals. The descriptive statistics that we asked for are here, so we can see the means of each of the marital status groups with respect to their levels of extroversion as well as the standard deviations. The main substance of our test is here in the test of between subjects effects. So the first thing that we see is that for our marital status variable here, B1PB19, we do have a significant effect, which means that there is a difference between the levels of some of the means of the individuals in terms of marital status. But at this point, we don't know which one. Now, if we go down to the bottom here, we can again see the means of the different groups. And if we interpret those means, we can see that individuals who are separated and divorced, as well as widowed, seem to have higher levels of extroversion than perhaps individuals who are never married. So individuals who are never married seem to have the lowest level of extroversion. Our post hoc tests can confirm this difference, and what we see is that, as indicated by the star here, the difference between the married and the never married groups is about 0.11, and that star means that it's a statistically significant result. So we have p less than 0.05 here in terms of the significance. If we compare never married to married, divorced, and widowed individuals, they have lower levels of extroversion than all of those individuals, so those as indicated by the stars here. Now, an interesting thing to note is that the difference between individuals who are never married and individuals who are separated is actually the largest in terms of the actual magnitude of the mean difference. So we have a 0.19 difference. Why do you think that that is? It might be because individuals are, there's the smallest number of individuals in our separated group and in our never married group. And so the standard error of our effect here is the biggest for that group. So the standard error is dependent on the size of the sample that we're investigating. And that standard error plays into whether or not the difference between these two means is statistically significant. The last bit of information we have here is this homogeneous subsets. And this just shows us sort of how our grouping variables stack up against one another. So the never married group has a lower level of extroversion than every other group, but the married and divorced individuals aren't really distinguishable from each other.